Alright, YouTubers, what's going on? For ladies and gentlemen, it's the Natural Born Thriller. Welcome everyone to your Impact Wrestling review. While catching up with it, the show from June 3rd, 2021. Josh Matthews and D'Lo Brown, your commentators at the Skyway Studio in Nashville, Tennessee. Just like, they have been doing for, well, I'm not trying to say, during the entire, the pandemic, but, um, but I think this is they're always been a home base, since maybe after 2017 maybe. I'm assuming maybe. Yeah, it's been a long time too. So who knows? But the point is, let's get to the show here. That's the point. But before we get to what happened on Impact Wrestling, we gotta talk about what happened on before the Impact, which I talked about before. From my last review, before the Impact, for the X Division Championship, Josh Alexander will defend it against TJP in a 60-minute Ironman match. And after watching it on Impact Plus, Martinez watching the Before the Impact show, um, they were having a good match from the start, from the beginning. And I can't remember how long it took them for for them to for one of them to get a pinfall. It felt like almost half an hour that they got the pin that one got the pinfall, and the one who got the pinfall was Josh Alexander, and they had to wait about 30 seconds to resume, and they did, and they continue on.
I just made it home.
And all of a sudden, they start fighting on the stage. They didn't just fight in the ring. Obviously, they fought outside the ring for a little bit, and all of a sudden later on, they start fighting on the stage, whatever. Josh Alexander tried to take care of TJP, and for whatever reason, Trey Miguel, Chris Sabin, coming from the entranceway and like don't do it, like, to myself, where this came from. All of a sudden, TJP counters Josh Alexander, and by the way, I should mention this, by the way, Falaba was at ringside for TJP, and P. Williams was also at ringside for Josh Alexander. And I'm looking at this, it tends to that whole thing. Like, someone said, what was the point of them coming out there? I mean, they still stuck around though, but I thought it was kind of weird they did that. And all of a sudden, Alicia Edwards came out. Eddie Edwards came out. Now you're thinking to yourself, oh no, Eddie Edwards came out. That means like, I got someone like me who's not a fan of his gimmick anymore. Not a fan of that of what he's looking at anymore. You know, oh no, he's gonna get pissed off. Like, actually, I wasn't. I was like, it's whatever. So then you start getting more people coming out, like Richard Ellering, Jordan Grace coming out as well. I guess they want to a close eye look of the match, because this match was great, because it was great. Brian Myers had Sam Beal, who's trained him to be the most professional wrestler, because Brian Myers is the most professional wrestler, and we'll get to that later, by the way. We'll get more to that one. John Stringer came out with Hernandez, and I can't remember who else came out there, but basically you had these important people coming out to come out there and to watch the match. And I think also Jake something came out too as well. I can't remember who else brought out the two, but yeah, basically made it a huge deal, all these two, because this was a huge deal, because this was a 60-minute Ironman match they did. All of a sudden, about 7 to 8 minutes into the match, close to the end, basically, you know, yeah, that's the remaining time of it. We bled right into the show of Impact Wrestling. So if you came into the show of Impact Wrestling, that was the match you saw open up the show. Was the 7 to 8 minutes remaining between TJP and Josh Alexander, where Josh Alexander lost his headgear. He was bleeding. Basically, he got the most bruised up face than TJP had. Um, you know, but TJP also showed some signs of exhaustion, just like Josh Alexander did. And then in the match, TJP got the let's see. Oh yeah, so yeah, So basically, Josh Alexander still had one fall finish. I mean, one fall for the win. From that match, and TJP still had no fall. So also make it to the end. So close end of of the time room coming to an end. Josh Alexander's got the ankle lock. TJP, let's see, was it the ankle lock? Oh yeah, yes, I think he had the ankle lock. TJP also, I can't remember if that's how it happened. Let me just double check here to just make sure. All right, just give me one moment. It should be here somewhere. Hell, even there's notes here about how the match went down too between those guys from the beginning of the match from before the impact and two you know the times remaining on when Impact Wrestling started. All right, so here we go. So it was ankle lock. Yeah, so I was right before. It was Josh Alexander with an ankle lock onto TJP. TJP looked like he's going to get ready to tap out. All of a sudden, he turns it into a pinfall onto Josh Alexander. No way for Josh Alexander to kick out. So TJP saved himself there. Because the match was going to come to an end either way, and it ended. That was 60 minutes. Time has expired. So now it had to go to sudden death. Josh Alexander won. TJP with one. Winner take all in this match. For one fall finish between TJP and Josh Alexander. So they wait 30 seconds. They get back into the match, and they pull out a clinic. For I think for a good 3 minutes or so, and then in the end, Josh Alexander got the win. He got the pinfall. I can't remember if it was the pinfall. Oh, cause yeah, it was. It was the divine innovation they did. Basically the double underhook, power driver that he does. Basically, if you've seen Jay Briscoe from Ring of Honor doing that, the J Driller, that's basically what it was. That Josh Alexander does, and that's his finisher too. So yeah, in the end, Josh Alexander won, still X Division champion, and you got everyone surrounding the ring, applauding both guys. Both guys are embracing the ring, showing sportsmanship, and yeah, that was great, man. It was just all awesome. Again, from when it first started to the end, to the sudden death, to the end closing of it. It was amazing, and that's what pro wrestling is all about. Amazing, amazing match. Loved it. Mm. So Don Callis and the Good Brothers are basically joining to conflict about what happened over Moose and Sammy Callahan. Oh, and that's another thing too. I'm glad this was brought too, because I completely forgot about the this whole thing that happened on the previous review I did for Impact Wrestling. So before the Good Brothers had the match against Moose and Sammy Callahan in the main event, there was a camera, the cameraman right there recording them and basically spying on them. So then we get to this edition of Impact Wrestling. The cameraman's doing it again, but this time the cameraman got caught by Don Callis and the Good Brothers. So, and then it happened after that. So, but I guess in a way they didn't want that interruption or invasion of the privacy of the discussions to ever happen ever again. So Charles Alexander and then TJP meet backstage again. They thank one another for the spectacular match that they had. Scott Moore comes in, basically applauds both of them for a tremendous job, which is true. They did a great job. And Charles Alexander declares himself the self-proclaimed king of all Impact in the company. You know, recently retains to the unification of the Impact title belt. You know, and um, and all of a sudden he gets interrupted by Ace Austin, Chris Bay. Also, Pete Williams comes in. Um, Basically, they want to be next in line for. Oh yeah, also, sorry folks. Trey Miguel was in there too, by the way. I guess Trey Miguel was trying to bribe himself to get a title shot. I'm like, what the hell? Well, like that doesn't fit Trey Miguel's character. Like, what was he trying to bribe Scott Demoy for? Now I don't know how much you slipped him in there. I don't know if you slipped in the 20 or whatever. But I thought that was strange. But basically, Scott Demoy basically makes a match for these guys. Where next on the next the next basically it's gonna be for against all odds, and whoever wins that match will face Josh Alexander for the title whenever. So I'm assuming that was the match though, but we'll get to more of that when we get close to it. Table match now. Jake Something versus Wade Rajul. Good match. Um, like I said before when I did on the previous review, it was, you know, very good preview package that they did. Where it these guys coming together in the Indies and being friends and all that. Coming to Impact Wrestling where they were separate ways in a way, and with them being later on down the road bitter enemies and all that, where it's leading to this program with them, and they had I thought they had a good match here. You know, and you also had tables involved. I mean, yeah, chairs involved too in the match as well, but it was all about putting your opponent to the table, and it was just about a lot of good chemistry with these two, a lot of good psychology out of the two and all that, and just the way they both this match was pretty amazing. And in the end, so Ray Joseph's chair to the face of Jake Something. Jake Something is enraged after that. Basically, no in a way no sold it, and then spears Ray Rajul to a table. Which by the way, props to Ray Rajul because he went to the table the way he went to the table, unlike that piece of trash Shira. Just saying. But in the end, Jake Something won. Which I expected him to win either way. So, because Ray Rajul doesn't gain nothing on this one. Because at the end of the day, it's Jake Something they need to build up here for and not against Ray Rajul. He's good. Um, but it's Jake's time. Jake Something needs to be pushed more on Impact Wrestling than Ray Rajul. So W. Morrissey finds Scott Demoy, says that he wants a match with Rich Swann, which is going to happen at against all odds. Because he basically wanted a match on this show, but Scott Demoy did not want that to happen. But he's going to save that for. Oh wait, okay, I remember. Okay, I remember. The match was going to happen on that show, but something happened. We'll get to that. I just never remember how it happened. So Rosemary, she's ready for the Knockouts Championship title match against Dion Purrazzo, and the Harriet walks in and she demands her title shot. So it's basically Rosemary a proposal. If you can beat me, you could be added to the match. So basically, they're gonna have a match on the next the next show. We'll talk about that. Because that's when they have the match. So basically, if Harriet wins, beats Rosemary, she gets added to the match and becomes a three-way. Which it really could be against all odds, which is to Dion Purrazzo, because she could be in a position where she could lose the belt without losing that match. So we get to Rich Swann versus W. Morrissey. Unfortunately, never came on the way because when Rich Swann was making his entrance and all that, which it was kind of odd how he was doing his entrance. He's taking his time doing the whole thing. Doing his whole groove dance and whatever and everything. And he's getting to the spot where he's getting ready to go on the apron. And I see myself, he's really something is really off with this entrance. All of a sudden, Morrissey comes from the background like holy shit, he looks like he's about to get ready to kill him. And all of a sudden they start fighting. Basically, the Morrissey got him from behind, and then they start fighting in the ring. Shakira's coming out to break it up. Basically, the match never came on the way, and it'll be safe for Balway for against all odds. So there you go. Tina Dashwood with K for K finds Rachel Ellering before your title shot. Um, Basically, Dashwood wants to know if Ellering would like to become her new partner. And Ellering said, she and Jordan Grace are our tag team. Jordan Grace comes in and saves the day, whatever. Yeah, I don't like this whole thing what they're doing with Tina Dashwood, by the way, where she's randomly trying to find a partner and all that. It's just ridiculous. So let me get to. Okay, so this is part one. I get to Brian Myers and Sam Beal, where they call it, the segment called "How to Be a Professional." So Brian Myers tells us Sam Beal, how to be a professional pertains to making an entrance, and all that. You gotta look apart and all that. So basically, they do the whole thing where Sam Beal's doing his own entrance with no music by the way, and he's doing his thing, whatever. And Brian Myers was disgusted about his the way he did it. So he's like, let me show you how it's done. Music playing, he's doing his entrance and all that. And he's got his face mask and everything, which is a cool face mask that he has on. And then Scott Beal was like, "Oh, why you got a face mask? You've been vaccinated." Like, that's not the point. Oh god, but yeah, that was funny though. And that was basically it. And there was more all these segments for the next review, which that'll be it next time. But yeah, this is so far so good. Jim Miller informs that Jan Praso, the Knockouts champion, um will be in a position where if Rosemary loses to Havoc, then Havoc will be added to the match with Rosemary and Jan Praso for Knockouts title. Um, and Jan Praso was disgusted with all this and everything. And again, um, I guess she's supposed to be a heel and all that and everything. But she'll be complaining about this because for one thing, she's a technical wrestler, the most um technical wrestlers that any women's wrestler on in the world. I guess you could say pertains to Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb, and whoever else you could put in there pertains to that. You know, no one compares to what who does it better than Leon Perazzo, and the fact that you have Leon Perazzo acting like this, you know, I'm like, this is not that's not how she acted when she first came in, and now all of a sudden she's now she also she needs help. She doesn't want to get anyone any opportunities. It's I don't know. It's weird what they're doing here with John Perazzo. Why do that with her when you know it's not it's not going. I don't know. I just don't know, man. Sometimes can't figure out why they have a booker this way and then all of a sudden they have a booker in a different way. But we'll get to what happened on the next review of it about how that happened. You know. But in Knockouts Tag Team Champions, final flavor Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering. The match I thought was pretty good. And in the end, it was Fire and Flavor winning the match. Jordan Grace took the pinfall by during I mean that by Tasha Steelz, I meant to say, with a frog splash. So I guess that's gonna be a finisher now. The frog splash. It's not the best looking frog splash, but because when she was going up in the air doing the frog splash, she was more like doing the chop sign, you know, of DX than actually doing a frog splash, like how Eddie Guerrero does it. But I digress. But yeah, that's basically her finisher. Which is to the top to aerial attack. But yeah, still tag team champions, and once again, Jordan Grace is once again back in the losing streak. What does that mean? Well, they didn't do anything much on here, so which I'm glad they didn't because I don't want her to turn heel on Rachel Ellering, just for a sake to to have a program where it's gonna be a heated rivalry, whatever. So, but we'll see what they do with that. Um, Sami Callihan, he cuts a promo on Moose before they had the match. Also, Don Callis comes in and interrupt, basically pokes fun at Sami Callihan, and so also basically in a way saying that he's always the bride of his maid, but never the bride. Even though he was a former Impact World Champion, but Don Callis is going to ignore that. But then Sami Callihan tells him to leave because he basically was saying nothing important anyway. So he went back to his promo and saying, I'm gonna kick Moose's ass. And basically, this whole promo that Sami Callihan did, he's always doing interviews, at some dislocated some different location where no one can find him. So of all places, he does his promo is in the locker room, the hallway where he could be interrupted. I don't get it. But that's not the only person that Don Callis interrupted too, by the way, which we'll get to that later. All right, then we get to Fire and Flavor informing Scott Demoy that they beat in every tag team, and I knew this was coming too, by the way. What as soon as he left his office, and there was someone in his office that he was discussing with, and out comes Susan and Kimberly. And as soon as I saw that, I said to myself, well, at least they're a filler until to get a real opponents for Fire and Flavor for Summerversary. Because Susan ain't gonna win the belt with Kimberly. And on top of that, Susan with her gimmick, her in the suit and all that, acting like a Karen, a turbo Karen, by the way. It doesn't. This whole thing just doesn't fit tag team with Susan and Kimberly. It doesn't gel with together. There's no chemistry there. It just doesn't match. It's more of a dysfunctional pairing than it is, and like, than the actual tag team. Yeah, so there you go. I'm gonna say about that. But it's gonna happen against all odds. Kojima versus Diener with the about design. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I said that because I just don't see Diener being a heel. I don't see him being in this faction. And yes, he's got a new look and everything. Haircut, trim the beard, new ring attire, new persona, whatever. I don't give a fuck. He's a joke. And on top of that, he doesn't win matches. And sure enough, this was no different. So Kojima won. Now, as far as Kojima winning, great. And on top of that, he needs a momentum against Jojo Ring, which that match is gonna be great. Once I get a chance to see that. But 8 hours they came out, by the way. So basically defend them off because they're trying to interfere with her. So there you go. But yeah, but Kojima did win the match though. Moose cuts a promo about Sami Callihan for the main event. Don Callis comes in to interrupt, play mind games. And Moose is like, tells him off, everything. Because he stopped listening to him, the moment that he walked in and whatever have you and everything. And there you go. So. Eric Young calls out Eddie Edwards, also Christian Steve and Black Taurus. They can help but to laugh at, Eric Young's antics, I meant to say. Diener gets upset. And I say myself, I don't know why he's getting upset. He lost. But the K wants a match against Defined by Design for the tag titles. Since Joe Doring is not going to be in the match, and because the tag titles does belong to Defined by Design, they go to the Fabulous Freebird rules. So it's gonna be Rhino and Diener versus Decay, Black Taurus and Christian Steve out against all odds. So all I can say is, if Diener loses here, I wonder where they go from there. After they win the tag belts, after the whole Korea Sharp, trophy that they all had to put, they had to cash in on Finn Juice, just for them to lose it to Decay because of Diener. I don't know. To me, it just makes the Unbound Design faction, going down, than they are going up. But we'll see. We'll see what they do with that. Moose versus Sami Callihan. Match was good. Good chemistry there. But match ended with the Good Brothers coming out and can you make it too? Beating up on Sammy Callahan, and then they beat up on Moose. Basically, because they attacked Sammy Callahan first, he won by disqualification. So Don Callis told them, get out of the ring, all that. After the match, got the boy bumps into them as Omega Good Brothers leaves. He speaks to Don Callis. He's like, because Sam Khan won by the Q, me and Tony Khan are gonna have a discussion on the next Impact Wrestling show where he could be added to the match. So Don Callis should, he's basically invite Don Callis all to be in the summit they're gonna be doing. And there you go. And that's how the show ended. So yeah, that was basically the end of the show. And there was some things that I already mentioned already about Josh Matthews being on commentary. Yeah, like I said, he didn't know me on commentary, so that's a plus, you know, that's at least something. But besides that, um, yeah, so they already building up on their shows for which probably it was a stacked card for against All Odds, but I haven't seen it yet. But I'll get to that when I get to it. But it was indeed a stacked card, to say the least. And I'm glad I do that too. By the way, so now what I'm about to do now is get ready to talk about the Tomorrow Wrestling that happened on the show. And one match didn't happen because never got in the way because the fight between W Morrissey um and Rich Swan. So originally, if that would happen, it would have been 6 matches. But because it didn't, 5 matches were the total amount for Impact Wrestling from June 3rd. Let me just double check to see if that is the right date. Yes, it is. Of 2021. My overall strength of the show. The show was pretty good. It was some pretty good wrestling, and with some pretty good build-ups. Despite some builds I not found it that much in a way, but yeah, also got some good segments too as well. Some made me laugh. Some made me um made me question a little bit in a way, but the show I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was actually a better upgrade than the last time. So, but with that being said, thank you for watching. As I try to play catching up, folks, I'm gonna end it from here for his Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. I'll talk to you all in the next review, which that is going to be the home show edition on before we get to Against All Odds. Till then, take care.